Welcome to the kitchen sink. We will chat, we will make you think. You will not want to go to the loo. You could miss a lot if you had that poo. Stay and watch and join in. Yeah! Yes, indeed. Hello. Hello, Lucy.
I did my face.
Yay! Well done. You've remembered. Awesome. Look, I got ears this week. What have you got on your head? Oh, and the internet's gone. Oh, I don't know what it is. My nose now.
Right. Tell me about your week whilst I change internet server. Cover me.
Okay. Hi-hoo. Well, this week, I'm in Wales. There's so much going on in Wales, isn't there? With lockdown, we're not allowed to go anywhere, not allowed to buy anything, we're not allowed to do anything. So, it's been a pretty boring week, but look what I made on Saturday. It's gone a bit mouldy now, I have to say. Ooh, that's wax on his face, by the way. Don't go thinking anything rude. And I'm going to light him up. I'm going to put a little thing on. Oh, it has gone mouldy inside. It's rank. Ugh, look at that. That's his inside. But I did that on Saturday. And also, I didn't think this makeup would take half an hour to do, but it did. So I was running a little bit late and I haven't put on my false eyelashes. And I was thinking, maybe if I get some glue, I could put them on as well. But your eye makeup looks amazing, Lucy. I know you're not going to be able to talk to me till your internet sorted. But hi, Ray. I hope you cheer me up. Oh, there's no pressure then. I just had a most trying session. Oh, on Duolingo. Shamai, Shad and Camargue and all that. Yeah, I won't show your other one, Ray, your other comment, because that's just Lucy gets bigged up enough as it is.
Right.
She's back.
Oh,
hello.
I missed that. Viewers, please tell me what she said.
I said Lucy is the best co-host the person could ever wish for. Ooh, my first ever pumpkin that I've ever done. Ooh, something else I did this week as well is I've got to put this where it's not going to be in the house down now. Is firstly this week. Guess how many days since I last had any sugar or fat?
3?
Again? 3? Yes, this is the 3rd day. Well done. First time lucky. Can you believe I'm smiling and I'm nice to people? So, yeah.
Wow. I'm very proud of you. You set out and have achieved.
I have indeed. How are you, Lucy? What have you been up to this week? Oh, what's my hair fly?
I can't lie to people. Is that a drum kit on Lucy's head? Hugh.
Yeah.
I've doubled up on my hairband because I've got bats and ears. Shall I get rid of the bats?
Yes. Or just be a bat, because it's more or less the same face, isn't it? I don't know, I quite like it with all the extra gibbons on as well.
I can't lie to everybody. Today has been an absolute shitty day.
Oh no, why is that?
Just start the day on the back foot and then everyone around you is just a bag of spanners.
Isn't that every day? Isn't that Lucy's world?
It has helped me write some
Oh, I gotta say, I've been really missing comedy this week. I always miss comedy, but this week in particular, I haven't got any gigs lined up because I haven't. My day job's getting a bit busy as well. Look at that. This one's a wax one. I didn't carve that. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, yeah. But yeah, see, that's better when it's not lit. So, very Halloweeny. Thank you.
um,
We still got the candle.
Yeah. I'm getting stuck into my new job, and I'm really loving it. And there's a couple of guys that are really, really nice.
Oh yeah.
Which means that there's also a couple of guys that are not.
What's that now? Excuse me? Who's not being nice to you, Lucy? I want names. I want addresses. I want to give a Paddington Bear hard stare. How dare they? A-holes.
I was thinking, my new material, how does this sound? Most people assume, because I'm a female truck driver, that I'm a lesbian. I'm not, but when you've been driving trucks for quite a while, it does start to be more appealing.
That's funny.
And I'm very cool. Say that again. I got
Ray asking, why have you got Trump head, Sarah? Explain yourself, Ray. What does that mean? Sorry, Lisa, you know me. Anything to do with me, I'm like, what's that? Explain yourself, Ray. Neither of us understand.
And then I've written another line. Female truck driver means they meet the full spectrum of male world. You've got the guys that won't speak to women, the ones that can't speak to women, and the ones that legally aren't allowed to speak to women.
I love that. That's very funny. Yes. When are you going to do that then, live?
Saturday.
How are you? Have you got a gig on Saturday? Why didn't you tell us all about it?
Well, so Donna Landy from North Devon was going to put. Ray's just explained. Trump heads means orange pumpkins. We're not a satirical show. This is not Mock the Week. Please explain yourself.
I'm really trying to pretend that man doesn't exist. Yeah, I really hope
he'll never make it to the kitchen sink.
I know. So I have one veto, and I'm using it on Donald Trump.
Well, we've got a couple, and we've been using them before. Donna was doing a live gig in North Devon, and the venue pulled out. So I said, I'm working with a venue down here that possibly would be suitable. And she came and had a site visit, and we all loved it. And we're plowing on ahead. And I managed to get a piece in the Tiverton Gazette. Hello world. I think next week, Cosmo. It's amazing. So tickets, they've got this sort of plodding. And if they plod by this rate by Saturday, we will be sold out.
Ooh, oh, fingers crossed. Keeping everything crossed for you. We'll get in touch with Boris and tell him to hold off the nationwide lockdown, but until after Saturday. That'd be awesome. At least we get to celebrate Halloween in Wales. We're not allowed to celebrate anything at the minute.
Yeah.
Hence, every opportunity.
What they're doing around here. What they're doing in Devon, right, is they are doing pumpkin trails where people are putting things in their houses and you walk around and do it that way. So you can sort of go around, and one village, there's a letter in each window, and you've got to get all the letters and then make the anagram.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's safer than begging for sweets, isn't it? Oh, Lucy, you're cutting in and out, my love. Yes, I can hear you. Can you see me? Ray, who's moving? Out of two of us. Ray, if you could be the one that tells us who's moving or not, that'll be awesome.
I can see you. Tell me what's happening in your world for Halloween. Is there
what's happening in my world? Well, yeah, absolutely zilch. I've told you. Look, this is what's happening. This is the cry of the Welsh person. I'm literally like, we are locked down in Wales, and it's like Mark Drayford doesn't want us to go anywhere or do anything. And he's, you probably heard about the non-essential items in the Bagan area. not allowed to, Tesco and all that. That's been the big thing this week. But the trouble is, we've had quite a lot of lockdown from March till whenever it was, August was it? And now we're in more lockdown, and it's like, right, okay, so my house is, even for me, and I had a lot to do, my house is fairly decent. I'm quite pleased with it. I'm like, oh my God, my bathroom's clean, and I'm actually keeping on top of it. I only cleaned it, like did a big clean about 3 weeks ago, and I'm actually doing regular cleans now, everyone. I feel like I'm an adult, I've grown up, and I'm proper cleaning stuff. But the trouble is, in the first lockdown, it was summer, I didn't have that much work on, so it was fine. Now, and I shed loads to do in the garden. Now it's winter. I've got loads of work on, so it's all work. And this is my fun time of the week. This is, I've got a gig booked that I'm going to watch tomorrow night. So it's just a bit depressing, frankly. But it's not what everyone wants to hear, is it? But it is.
No, keep it light. Keep it light.
Yeah, all right.
I can show you something that is quite impressive. And I don't want it compared to Donald Trump, thank you very much, Ray. But check out my pumpkin.
Go on, Ed. Oh, very nice. Now, will that light up? Will we see you? This was the pumpkin you were on about last week when you were like, my friend always makes my pumpkin with my name on it, which was hilarious because I'm like, that's lovely, but you are also in your late 30s. But it's very nice. Does it light up?
Right. Next time you want to have a go at me, try not looking like a cat.
I'm not. Oh my God, is that me having a go at you? That's not me having a go at you. That's a gentle teasing. That's bants.
I thought you were just pointing out I'm younger than you.
Well, yes, there we are. Oh, here we go. Little Miss Competitive. Out come the claws.
If I was competitive, Sarah, do you think I'd be the best competitive person?
You are competitive, Lucy, and yes, you can win all the competitions. Good luck to you. I don't care.
I'm not experienced enough to win.
Does your pumpkin light up? Answer the question. These are the questions we want to know.
No, it doesn't, because I haven't had time to scoop it out.
Come on. Ray is saying that, Lucy, you need to broadcast me sofa again, and I'm coming through fine. Thank you.
Right, so I was a little bit busy this Tuesday, and all the time I wanted to give to planning the Lucy show evaporated into the smoke. And I decided that as opposed to not doing a Lucy show, I did a Lucy show unplugged. Unplanned. Unplanned. So unplugged, unplugged. Yeah, it was just me looking at a dead laptop. So it was Lucy Joe unplanned, and I did it just over there on the sofa. And apparently, I was coming through like I was at the headquarters of IBM. What a difference 3 meters can make.
So what's wrong with the sofa tonight then? Is your mum using it to watch telly?
Well, I just
scooped you out of the way.
No, it's just I always sort of have it set up. I got my laptop on a bit of a plinth, so it's better angle, and then I got me lights. Do you know what I mean? But maybe for the next kitchen sink, I will relocate to the sofa. Ray's added, hi Christine. She's always present. She's like Jesus. Hi Ray. Hi Ray. She's just chipped in. If you're playing the drinking game, take a shot when she chips in. So for the next kitchen sink, I will move over. I don't know. I think because I just think it's a bit slovenly to do it from the sofa.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's it's nice to have your your places and that. I really want to put my eyelashes on, but my eyelash glue is in the bathroom. I'll see if I've got anything
I'm just going to message our guest to double check that he is.
How's everyone out in the internet land? Is anyone dressed up for us this evening? We're just happy to let us do it. Yeah, I'd like to see.
Please, though, I do hope that you're all dressed for us at least.
If you're not dressed up, we'll accept dress. Not that it matters. We don't see you guys anyway. But shall I go and get my glue, my eyelash glue, and have a wee at the same time?
Yes, I would love to see you put eyelashes on live on the kitchen sink.
Okay, 2 seconds.
And with any luck, the cat will come in halfway through and you'll just have the one flapping.
Right, I'm muting myself. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Oh, Stevie D's on. Steve. Hello, my love. Let's get dressed then. I have to say, everybody, I'm finding it. I'm enjoying being back to work, but it is quite difficult because I still haven't left my last job because I haven't found anyone to cut me. So I'm doing my comedy shows. I've got my old job and I've got my new job all at the same time, and I think I might be spreading myself a little bit too thin. But the most important thing is tomorrow. I've got the tomorrow day to practice my comedy routine for Saturday because it will be my my first official 10 minutes. I've got the material. I know it's strong. I know it, but it's just knowing that I know it, being sort of fearless, knowing that I can stand up on stage in a huge room holding a microphone and I can just bang out the material. I mean, ultimately, I am buggered if nobody likes truck puns, as that is a lot of my material. But, you know, they always say write from what you know, which is quite interesting because a lot of my friends have said my other material is a little bit better than the truck material. But then all the important people I know tell me to do the truck stuff because it's my niche and there's not many people out there that can do that kind of material. So I don't know. I'll do it. I'll do my 10. I'll do my truck 10. And then because it's us putting the gig on, and hopefully it'll be monthly, Donna and I can wangle ourselves on an extra 5 minutes because it's our lineup. And we've already had people getting in touch going, hi, I see you running a night. Here's my video clip. And it's like, oh, the power. What can you do for me?
Right.
No longer my friend. just want to get on the list. Oh, right.
I've got glue.
It's fascinated, guys, because I mean, for me, I am genuinely just about able to drive a mascara wand.
Your makeup looks amazing tonight, Lucy. There we are.
I'm wearing my Halloween underwear sitting on the couch. Does that count as being dressed up? Hugh, yes, it does. As long as you've got your pumpkins safely.
When you say Halloween underwear, what is it? Just that you haven't washed it for a year? That's what makes it scary.
It's because it's got its ghoulies in
it. Oh, wait. So you put your glue on, guys. Everybody watching for when you're dressing it, and then I can do the left, all right. But it's the hang on, the ears are coming off. Hang on. Right. I don't think it's going to work. Me looking. So Steve's been taking candles off.
While Sarah is doing this, for our podcast listeners, Sarah is applying false eyelash onto her face using some kind of epoxy resin. But I would like to take a minute, and it's not a sad thing. Well, it is a sad thing, but I don't want to dwell on the sadness. I would love everybody to, at some point today or tomorrow, to go on YouTube. Obviously, we can't because of the music issue, but I would love you to look up Cannonball Together We'll Be Okay. Yeah. It's called Together. I am a huge fan of all the comedy greats, and today COVID-19 stole another one of them, and Bobby Ball, the legend that was Bobby Ball, was taken from us, sadly. So if you can, go on YouTube and look up Cannon and Bull Together. If you do not if you do not finish listening to that song and feel a little bit more okay about the day, then you haven't got it loud enough.
Sorry, Bobby Ball. maybe right now was the best time to say goodbye to our great friend.
Steve is in a truck in France, and the French guy is in the next truck, is looking at me strange as I put my eyelashes on. He's following the tutorial to the letter.
Ah, thank you. See, look, I got, ooh, nearly there. See the difference it makes. These are dramatic. These are dramatic lashes. Ah, right, there we are. That's one.
Lashes.
Right, there's a tsunami in China now because I've fluttered that eyelash. Right, so I've done one. Oh, that looks terrible. Hang on, I might have to. It is halfway.
I was half in mind to wear for tonight's outfit. I thought, what's the scariest thing I can do? And according to my latest post from the reactions, I was going to wear my elf hat and a Christmas jumper and put some tinsel around. Because everyone absolutely freaked out when I said, "Do you think it's okay for me to put my Christmas jumpers on once Halloween's on?" Ray Turner, yes, I'm sorry, Bobby Ball has passed away after a short illness with COVID-19.
He was only active, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was literally just on the Chris Miles show because Chris Miles is such a huge fan.
Oh, well, I remember him from the 70s. Obviously, I was a kid back in the 70s, and he had his catchphrase "Rock on, Tommy" with his, and I loved that, the braces and everything. That was my main thing with him, was the "Rock on, Tommy" thing.
Chris often plays together on the Chris Miles show, even though the Radio X music policy is was it fresh rock and guitar-based music? Yeah. And it just, you can't not have a good day after listening to Together We'll Be Okay. And yes, Rock On Tommy is one of the lines in it. Just a lovely, lovely band. They were saying, apparently, right, so when they got their first paychecks, they both went out and bought Rolls Royces. And
what, that was for the BBC?
Well, they were doing a lot of the they were doing all the boards, so they were doing all the vaudeville, the comedy houses. So they would do the end of the piers and all that, and they made a load of money. So the box was gold. I think Tommy's was gold, and the other one would always tell the press that Prince Charles was there. So whenever he tried to get to his car, he'd pound rats. But I really do. I absolutely love Cannon and Ball, and I think everybody should do their best to Google them.
Yeah.
How's it looking?
Right, I've gone for a different type of lash because this one, I last wore it last year and it's a bit too thick, I think. So I've gone for a different one. So the left one is on, see? Right. And now I'm going to put the right one on. Right, so this one, see, so easy to do. Anyone can do it. So easy. It's just taken me about 4 years of practice to get the left one, and the left one always goes on quite well, and then the right one, it's
I love the fact that our amazing guest has already appeared in the dining room, and he is getting to see the amazing makeup tutorial.
Right, to get all the false eyelashes, everyone. Bit of glue on, bit of that. You got to do that, bit of that on. Right, okay. And now we're gonna swish your hair over to the other side. And then what I tend to do, and this is a top-notch technique, okay? What I tend to do is just aim for the eye general area and then shove it on. Like that.
Honestly, I mean, Kylie Jenner has got nothing on this.
Steve, well, this is it. I'm bringing out a makeup line. B&M are not interested. Oh, look, it's gone on. Look, B&M are not interested. They're not going to give us a booze deal. So I'm trying the makeup ranges now.
That's amazing.
We need to get rich somehow, Lucy. There. It's gone quite well, actually.
I was feeling very make do amend today. I found a load of my ex-boyfriend's socks in the back of my bedroom, so I've been using that for my oil change rags.
It's come off again.
One's a
I gotta
truck
try
and one was
again.
makeup. Brilliant.
Tell you what.
Right. We're going to be bringing Gerry to the kitchen sink soon. You better get your floppy eyelashes in. I'm not interviewing one of my comedy inspirations with you with one eye hanging off.
I remember when you said you like, oh, Gerry is he's a big deal to me. He's a huge inspiration. I'm like, right, okay,
Yeah.
we've got to do our best now because it's, you're a big deal for Lucy.
Yeah.
So I'm putting my best makeup on, look,
Yeah.
but it's not. There we go. Hang on. There. I'm done. I'm ready.
I mean, you can definitely take your nerves away.
I need my ears.
Right. Get your ears on. And we're going to bring Gerry Kyei from the dining room into the kitchen. I pick up look sharp, but Wiley's now massively anti-Semitic.
Is that all right?
And I love the fact that's perfect. You look stunning, and our fans are so clever that Hugh's put, Lucy, if you tried that, you would end up in A&E. Absolutely, I would stab myself in the eyes with all my fingers. I'd have an eyeball there, be shouting for my mother, and there'd be a cat running after me.
It's Halloween, so it would be fitting.
Yes, with no further ado, I try not to get or starstruck, but we have only got Monsieur Gerry Kyei. Ta-da!
Hey!
I'm in. Hello, ladies. How you doing? Hello, Lucy. Hello, Sarah. Sarah, I misread. I thought it said Sarah Brightman. And then, I saw the cat scene. I thought, Christ, got Sarah Brightman in it. Jeez, I'm not disappointed, though. I was never a fan of her.
See? Same voice.
Hello, Lily.
Very nice to meet you, Gerry.
Lovely to meet you. I was just listening. I as you know, I'm not great. Like Lucy will tell you this. I'm not great with technology, right? So I didn't want to get this wrong. So I clicked the link. I'm there, brilliant. And then I was just sat there on my own. It said, "Enter the broadcast studio." So I thought, I better do that. So then obviously I was sat in the dining room, as I think you put it. Just as you said, aim for the general area and stick it in. And I thought, you've been reading my sex tips for men, haven't you? You've been looking at my sex blog.
You were thinking, oh shit, I think I'm in the wrong StreamYard here.
What's Lucy lured me into? Yeah. Anyway. So what do you want from me?
Oh, I just want to chat. I don't know if you've seen any of our previous ones, but we have a chat, and then about 5 minutes before you're due to go, we tend to go, oh, hang on, tell us about your life. So if you like, we could do that. Get that out of the way. Have you got anything to plug? Do you want to get that out of the way first?
I never have. To be honest, I mean, where am I? On Saturday night, I'm at the Bearcat in Twickenham. But nowadays it's all blooming. Because of the capacity thing, the tickets get sold anyway, so no one's rocking up last minute for things, are they? So plug in is, I've got my show that Lucy knows about that I do, but that's not every night now, so that's not a regular thing. Just keep an eye out for me on my various social medias. What I'm doing, that's all I would ask of you, good people.
Yeah, keep an eye out. And we will plug it and we'll put all that on at the end. But other than that, we can relax now. We can just chill and just have a chat. So Lucy knows you a bit. This is the first time I'm meeting you, obviously. So how's lockdown been for you? What have you been up to?
Well, I mean, going back to March, I loved it, to be honest. I loved it. I mean, aside from the lack of cash and work and all the rest of it, that aside, I think once I'd realised that pretty much no one was earning any money, so it was a level playing field, I thought, well, let's just enjoy this extended holiday. And back in March, obviously the weather was gorgeous, wasn't it? So I can literally see the woods. I live in the woods, I can see them from here. So be up in the woods. I took me football up there. I was playing keep the uppies, and it was actually lovely in the summer. And now it's not really hit us yet as it had started. So I'm kind of, and I Uber a bit as well. I don't know if you know that. I think Lucy probably knows that. But I do a bit of Ubering to make a bit of cash. So,
did you say hoovering?
No, Ubering.
Oh, Ubering. Yeah. I'm like, hoovering.
I didn't hoover for cash. Actually, I could do that, couldn't I? It'd be like butlers in the buff kind of thing, but no one wants to clean in the buff.
Topless cleaner.
Yeah. I've got quite large breasts nowadays, so that would work in certain circles. But yeah, so that's what I do really. I spend a lot of writing. I'm one of those people. I hate. People always say comedians, "Oh, I'm writing a book. I'm writing this. I'm writing that." But I am. But I just am. But will it ever finish? I don't know. I've been writing a book for years. I'm writing a sitcom that I've been doing for a while. Yeah, I'm always sort of halfway doing stuff that never gets finished. You know what I mean? So in theory, I would do that. Finish that.
So tell us a little bit, because obviously I've had a look at your stuff on YouTube. Obviously very high quality, high caliber act, but there might be people watching that haven't met you before. So tell us a bit about your comedy. Like, when did you start, and what's it been like? All that stuff.
Okay, so it started in 2002 when I worked for Miracle Newspapers, and I was dared by one of the secretaries to enter a competition. And so I did, reluctantly, but I sort of did it. Anyway, I didn't win, but I did okay. Point is, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time on the stage. I just did competition, so I never did the open circuit. Never did it because I had a full-time job. And frankly, I wasn't brave enough to do the open circuit. I felt doing competition didn't need as much courage because somehow in a competition, there was no expectation. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I did anyway. And then I'm not sure when I started getting paid for it, but I mean, I remember my first gig was for Jeff Whiting down in Club Fandango in Plymouth, which is a lot farther away than you realise if you've never been to Plymouth. But then I kind of really broke through when I was in the final of a competition in maybe 2005. Greg Davis won it. You know, in between us, Greg Davis. Rod Gilbert was in the top 10. Kerry Godleman. So I was in that top 10, and that's when I sort of got noticed a little. And then I was sort of pro from then. Then in 2009, I left media altogether. And I've been doing this full time for 11 years.
Wow. And how have you found it? Have you enjoyed it? Do you love comedy?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better, is there, than, you know, we all got an ego, right? And there's nothing better than coming off the stage and feeling like they're going to carry you shoulder aloft around the town. You know what I mean? There's nothing like that. I mean, conversely, there's equally nothing like dying on your ass, obviously, and wanting to drive over the nearest cliff. But fortunately, most of the time it works. So, and you know, getting a new bit of material out there and it working is a wonderful feeling. So, yeah, I still love comedy. The only bit I don't like is the travel now. I'm over traveling. You know what I mean? I'd love to write. I don't know. I don't think people realise. I don't know, but I don't know if people realise my writing abilities. You know, there's Gerry the stand-up, and I do the stand-up I do, and there's that sort of characterisation. But also, I write quite a lot of surreal stuff and perhaps deeper stuff and stuff that comes across as more erudite than my stage persona. You know. So you know.
Yeah. But do you think in this day and age now, with the YouTube and all that, are you planning on doing any of that stuff for yourself as well anyway?
Do you mean as in stand-up live or
like you've written your stuff, you're working on your sitcoms and things like that. Are there sketches or things that you could do for YouTube?
I mean, I do a lot on TikTok at the moment. I've discovered TikTok.
Yes.
I know they don't like. Oh, good. Lucy knows this, and I know they don't like us mature folk on it, but there's loads of us on there, and so I'm doing quite a lot of sketches on there, which I should actually put on YouTube as well. I'm just terrible at doing stuff. You know what I mean? I need to do that. What I need to do is move that stuff onto YouTube, and then make more of my YouTube channel to get more followers there, and ultimately monetize it. Which, at the end of the day, this is a job, right? You know, I'm not looking up that this can just be a bit of fun. The job is fun, you know what I mean? Or fun is the job. And so at some point, some cash has got to happen for it. So, you know.
Yeah. That's the hard part, though, isn't it? I think that's the bit people don't realise with comedy, is you talk about comedy, unless you're lucky enough to, you know, win a big competition or get seen really early on. If you want anyone to see you, it's a job. It's so hard to even get a gig, isn't it?
It is so hard. I mean, the public see 20 comics all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the same sort of 20, and that's great, and that's great for them. Everything else, but yeah, there's another 800 of us who are just making ends meet, and I just sometimes wish they'd sort of spread it about a bit. If I was one of the 20, I probably wouldn't. But obviously, it's funny because I've noticed. It's funny because when all this sort of BLM thing blew up this year, and I've noticed obviously more sort of BAME comics, around the. But actually, there's still the same BME comics that were on there a year ago. Do you know what I mean? They were just more of them. So rather than they haven't actually done anything. They're just using more of the same ones, and that same thing could go for women, whatever.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whatever sort of minority. They don't actually spread the net wider. They just use the same ones more. So
they just get the same one on more often.
Yeah,
we have got one. Yeah.
I'm sure
you find women in comedy as
Catherine Ryan is actually. Catherine Ryan has said she's not going to do Mock the Week anymore. Catherine Ryan has said she's not going to do Mock the Week anymore because there's only one seat for a woman and she's the only woman that they seem to ring. So if she steps down from being the only woman, maybe another woman can get on it.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? That's the. So I'm not going anywhere. No, I'm just thinking if they're going to do that, then wait on. Get me up. I mean.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
Oh, back off, lady.
Catherine, give us a shout, love, if you're watching. I'm waiting in the wings.
Oh,
see, Gerry did an amazing impersonation of Beyonce for Single Women to the point now that when I mention Gerry's name, my mum instantly goes, "Is that the Beyonce man?"
Yes, you.
I'd love to know as well how you got around Facebook with that, because we've had issues on Facebook playing even a snippet of music. Had to stop your guess the intro as well.
Yes, well, I do get told off about it quite a lot. Yeah, they do. They'll sort of halfway through the show, they'll sort of mess around and stuff. So yeah, I do get a bit of grief with it. But today I've just ignored it and I've just ploughed on. There may come a time where they give me a ban or something, but yeah, I just plough on with it really, and worry about it. I'm only going to do it somewhere else tonight. It's like Facebook needs to wise up about that really, because you can do it on TikTok. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
well, there's loads of other places, aren't there?
Yeah.
And the worst, all I'll do also, if they ban me from playing the intros, I'll sing the intros. And trust me, no one wants that. So Facebook, if you're watching, think on.
I have to say as well, Gerry. Obviously, I've already praised you a lot before the show, and to yourself. But I love your poetry, and I love your TikTok videos, and I love the fact you do you've done some of the joke shows like Quizzically Challenged, etc., etc. But for me, what I find very inspirational about you is that when lockdown happened and you weren't allowed to gig, you went, "Fine, I'm fine then," and there was a very can-do, make it happen attitude. That I'm not just going to sit in the corner and cry about all the money that I've lost, because you've lost a hell of a lot of money. That was your gig. You're a pro gig comedian, and so many of them sort of came out as soon as lockdown happened and were just crying. And I get it; it's terrible, but you're not going to get the right kind of response. No one's going to go, "Oh, there's that funny person crying." You were just like, "Right, see you at 7 o'clock. Right, here's my tip. Right, get in touch. We're going to do keepy uppies." And I just thought your attitude to it all was just absolutely mind blowing. So thank you very much for being an inspiration in that way.
Thank you. I mean, I just at the end of the day, it's what it is, right? It's like we didn't have the work. The work wasn't there, so I thought I might as well just do something to entertain myself as much as anything else, really. I mean, as I said, I'd love for there to have been money attached to it, but there wasn't. But so be it. But I ended up just having a little fun with it anyway. The Facebook show, the 7 o'clock show, and the Keep Me Uppy thing. In fact, all the stuff was just great fun for me. Got me out of the house. The football thing got me out of the house, and the Facebook thing. I love presenting. I love this. What we're doing here. I love presenting. If I had my time again, I would throw myself forward and presenting roles. That is what I would do. I love it. I do radio now and again. So yeah, I just love this. Love this. It's brilliant. I love it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I enjoy it as well. Maybe because there's very little prep. You know, but this was like half an hour, so it was a lot of prep. Like,
Oh, I thought you'd, that looks like professional makeup. I'm shocked.
yeah, you can come on again. I taught Lucy how to do it last week because Lucy very wisely, as a young lady, won't forget that. Makeup seems like a lot of work. And so it's rare to get Lucy in a bit of makeup, but she's done really well.
I've noticed that, Lucy. I've noticed Lucy is sparing with the makeup, Lucy. I've noticed that. That's not a bad thing, by the way. I'm just saying I've noticed you're a young lady who tends to shy away from that, which is not a bad thing. I'm going to suggest that for a minute. But I've just noticed that in all your videos. Au natural, I think.
Whereas with me,
and also it was very good. I was going to say there's a TikTok challenge where it's makeup free, no filter, and it was like, all right, looks like every other video I make. Oh, where's my round of applause? My bouquet of flowers. Do I get a medal?
I sent you a heart, I think.
Yes, you did, darling. It was quite amusing because with TikTok you can mute, you can duet, and I still haven't got around to teaching Gerry this. So you do a video, you post it, and then somebody else sort of your picture is there, and then all of a sudden it goes into half screen, so you're there and they're there, and you can duet with just the video. And I think it took Gerry and I probably 3 days and 9 attempts to work out which buttons. It really was the blind lead in the blind of just videos going, is this one it? Is it this one? Press this button.
Well, I've got it now. It works now, because my problem was I've got a Samsung S9 and couldn't get sound. That was the problem before, but you can now. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've duetted quite a few people.
Hey.
It works. It works. So Lucy, where are you? There, Lucy. Sorted.
Yeah. I did what I did enjoy for a while was sitting at home having a few G&Ts, and then our American cousins would do TikToks where they ask British people stupid questions, but they're not stupid questions to the Americans, they're genuine questions. And like this one girl was like, if you're British, please answer, do you have milk in England? Like, do you have milk in London? And it was just like, what the hell are you on about? I got the most views ever for just slating the girl.
Yeah, she asked them really, and what was it? Why don't you celebrate independence? She's the one with the freckles, isn't she? With a lot of freckles. She's got her hair back. She's got a lot of freckles, and she asked the most ridiculous questions. She asked really annoying questions, actually. I'd like to turn it around on them, though. I'd love to do that. You know, things like, why do you call trousers pants, for example? Do you know what I mean? And why do you use too many syllables? Why do you use far too many syllables? Black, African American, too many syllables. You know what I mean? And there are loads of instances where they just use too many syllables. They're obsessed with them. You know? And bearing in mind they have so few teeth, you think they'd shy away from difficult words.
I think my favourite is they have a big spate of burglarizations, and it's like, do you mean burglaries?
Burglarization, brilliant.
Our viewer Hugh is brilliant. The minute we get a guest on, our amazing fan, Hugh Janus, love the name. He always really researches the guests, and I'm fascinated by this because I'm a big fan of this TV program. Were you on the bill?
Yes, and
oh my God,
and Angelo, he's quite right. In fact, Hugh, acting is something I'd love to do. I'm not sure how good I am. I've done the odd casting and never got anything. So maybe I'm not very good at it. But so the bill was quite funny because these are extra parts, by the way. But I mean, my agent makes me put acting in there as they do. But so in the bill, the funny thing about this was it was a dogfight, right? And so we were crowding around, we were baying the dogs, in this dog fight. And the thing is, they told us all to wear dark colours. So I did, obviously, I did as I was told. Now, the problem with that is it's a dog fight, so it's not very well lit anyway. And I'm quite dark for a black man. I'm quite dark skinned. I'm quite a long way along the Dulux colour chart. And so anyway, I'm at this dog fight, and I swear to you, no one knew it. I'm like, including my mum, right? I'm at the dog fight in the bill. Mum, I'm on the bill. No, you're not. No, Mum, I'm there. No, you're not. I'm telling you, I'm there. No, you're not. You're lying. Bye. No, yeah, I know. But Angelo's, that was different. That was a well-lit cafe. And I'm in there, and I had to do a scene where I was eating eggs, basically. I can't remember, was it bacon as well? It might have been bacon as well. Or eggs on toast. And the thing is, you get a lot of takes, right? I had to actually eat the fried egg for every take. And I don't really I hate albumin. You know what I mean? I like yolk, but I hate the white of egg. I hate it. And I had to eat this bloody egg like many times and like pour sauce on it. Like that. I mean, and yeah. So at the end of the day, I was like, Angelo's was quite good. Angelo's was quite good. And they never did it again. It's quite funny. Maybe I ruined it. So yes, Hugh.
Why do I always think Angelo's is the guy with the carrier bag, the Greek guy? It's not, is it? What was Angelo's then?
Angelo's who you're talking about, obviously that's the character. That's he's my mate, and I've forgotten his name. Oh, what's his name? I've forgot his name. Skinner. Duncan, not Duncan. Oh, anyway. Oh, that's annoying me. Anyway, Skinner, Mr. Skinner. And he's mate, I forgot his name, I can't believe it. But so Angelo's was a sitcom in a cafe called Angelo's, about a Greek cafe owner, and it was written by Sharon Horgan, who also appeared in it. And that's all I can remember about it. It was all about the cafe, basically, his family, his daughter, and it was quite good. But it never, I think it had one series, and that was it. Shame. Angelo, look it up.
I'm going to Google it now. Other internet providers are available.
Well, we do a comedy. Every week we pick, whether it's new or old, we always pick a comedy and we review it. And more often than not, I hear really great comedies that have done really well. They get one series and that's it. It's like the acting was good, the casting was good, the viewers were good. Why just the one series? It's really sad. It must be very difficult. What sort of sitcom have you written for our delectation?
Oh, okay. Well, I've actually so I've written one with my my good mate and co-writer Mike McLean. He and I have written a sitcom that's actually complete. It's called Grassroots, and it's about football. And it's about it's quite. I mean, well, obviously, I think it's quite funny. The premise is you got this guy, a Premiership football team, Premier League football team, and they're on the hunt for a new manager when their old manager gets sacked for some sort of indiscretion. They've got Russian owners, and they're very keen to find a high-profile replacement. So they end up hearing about this guy, this Polish manager who's been very, very successful. Unfortunately, there's a breakdown in communication between the Russians and the English. So they end up with a manager from the Midlands who's shite, basically. So the story is basically how this manager ends up accidentally in charge of a Premier League football team. And it kind of, that's the premise of it, and everything attached to that. So that's completed. That's what Mike and I did. It's called Grassroots, and we're trying to obviously flog it at the moment. In addition, I'm writing one of my own, which is about my life, which is called Foster Boy. I don't know if you know Lucy. I don't know if we've ever talked about it, but I was fostered. So
I saw you a bit on YouTube about that. Your material about that, yeah.
Yeah. So
if it was true.
Yeah. So I was
niche if it wasn't.
I lived in rural Essex, so I'm writing a sitcom. It's probably going to have to be a cartoon because the way I'm doing it is my character is only 2 years old but speaks, and only my sister can understand me. See, the adults and everyone else hears gagu gagu. A bit like Stewie out of Family Guy, right? That's the sort of yeah. So I'm writing that at the moment. The journey from London to the village, getting left by my parents, wondering where they're gone. Obviously, being a bit upset about that. Then adjusting to life with this little black kid in a rural Essex village, and going to school, and all my little my loves and my the good, the highs, the lows, and all the rest of it. Yeah, so that's called foster born. I'm working on that at the moment. So
yeah, maybe we should get you hooked up with. There's someone that we know that writes a comedy, and it's a cartoon. It's on YouTube. It's called The Veil.
Oh yeah.
So it is possible to do it. So I should put you up with him so we can talk about how he does his comedy. You know, you should check it out. It's very Welsh centric. It's hilarious. And they're going from strength to strength. You know, they've got about 3 series on there. So I'll make a note and get you in touch with him. He's a lovely guy as well. So, and I've given him a lot of help. So we should bloody chat to you.
Thank you. I'll have a look.
No pressure, but I'll be all back, Carl.
The stand-up you did about being fostered, I showed it to my friend who's also a comedian, and your crack baby joke angered her so much because the joke was so good, she'll never write it. That's how she felt after what she was like. Oh, that's good. Oh, did you see? He turned it on the audience. Oh.
I hate that. I know that feeling though. I know that feeling when when you're somewhere and a comedian does that, and you just, oh my God, like I'm never going to write anything that. I hate that when that happens. But you just have to learn the fact that other people are saying that about you. So thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah. Well, being women in comedy as well, quite often, we don't see each other on the same bill. So when you do see other people on the same bill, I'm like, she's talking about periods. I've got periods. It's like, how dare you? Whereas the guy has to talk about the same stuff all the time.
It's so true, isn't it? It's so true. When it's the same with ethnic minorities. Yeah, if there's another black guy on the bill, we're always like, I've been on bills. I remember one night I did a Keith Lee Hurst, and we were all black. It was like, I felt very uncomfortable about that. Funny story, actually. Right, it's a little bit sensitive, but So I went to a gig with a white comedian and a black comedian. 3 of us all went together up to Lancaster, and so it's me, another black comedian, and a white comedian. Anyway, we got there and we parked up. Now Lancaster isn't the most diverse cities, towns, right? And anyway, as soon as we got there, we saw a shop. The first thing we saw was a billboard, and a crime had been committed in the town by someone who had a black name, right, an African name. So we assumed, we just got here. There's probably one black guy here, and he's gone and committed a crime, right? So we're like, oh, bloody hell. So we're already a bit, oh God. So anyway, then we were really hungry, and me and the comedian, we're like, do you know what? I fancy a banana. So I said, yeah, I fancy a banana. And the other comedian was like, oh, yeah, we all fancy a banana. So we so I sort of was going to get out of the car, and then I thought about it. I think, no, I'm not going to go in that newsagent that's got that thing outside about the black guy. I'm not going to go in there and order a banana. So anyway, long story short, we bullied the other comedian, right? Me and the other black bullied the white comedian into going into the shop and getting a bunch of bananas. Yeah, that happened.
Oh, I bet he felt awkward about that. Super awkward.
We can laugh about it, right?
Here's a question I'd like to ask you is, right, my brother, I always remember sitting down before I started my sort of comedy career, and I said to him, Noel, do you think I can do this? Do you think I'm funny? And he said, oh, I don't know, sis, you're just my sister. And I'm like, let's try this again, Noel. Do you think I'm funny? Oh, I don't know. You're just my sister. No, I'm going to ask you for the 3rd time, right? Have I ever made you laugh? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Just Lucy, and you. Now, does your sister find your comedy funny, including the stuff that is very personal?
Yes. Yeah, I think I've got 2 sisters, and I think I'm right in saying they both do. Yes, I think they do. Yeah, including the stuff that you say that's very personal. That includes experiences that they've shared. So yes, I think so. Anyway,
yeah.
And my kids do, and I think my kids do too. I think so. Yeah, they're good liars if they don't. Exactly. Yeah. My mum came to see me once, and it was like I was doing this gig. I don't particularly like emceeing. I don't like hosting particularly. It makes me very nervous. I don't like the unknown bit of it. I like to know what I'm doing. Right. Anyway, I was asked to do this big black tie event in a marquee in Essex. Right? 400 people. Blah blah blah. And I was going to do a set. Now the guy at last minute said, "Oh, do you mind emceeing it?" I really didn't want to, but I had no choice really. And my family were coming, including my mum. Mum's never seen me before. So I get to this event. It started about 2 hours late, right? So by the time people ate, they were really pissed off. Everything was late. People were really pissed, and I had to MC this thing, and they weren't having it at all. Nothing I said was amusing to them. They just didn't like me. It was awful. It was awful. My mum's just sat there about 3 rows back, and it was just horrendous. Do you know what I mean? I sort of said to her, I said, "Mum, that isn't what I'm about." And she was good. She was good about it, but I know she was thinking, "My God, he's shit."
Oh.
So,
She wasn't thinking. No one's mum ever thinks that. Well, maybe a little bit. No, I'm sure she wasn't thinking that.
She fostered me out. She knew I was shit when I was 2.
Oh. She's like, why couldn't he be there?
He's not funny. Go to Essex.
Yeah. Yeah, so 18 years in the comedy industry is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What do you think? What do you think of the comedy industry now compared to when you started?
It's a good question. I don't feel that it's changed, to be honest. I don't feel, well, for me anyway. I mean, I've never been a scholar of comedy. I've never been able to study it. I don't watch a great deal of it. I don't go to comedy events apart from the annual Christmas party. I've only been to Edinburgh once, so I don't really know what else goes on outside my bubble. So for me, nothing's changed a great deal. I guess more comedians therefore equals less gigs, and the money's certainly not gone up. But the industry itself is just the same thing, maybe in a slightly different guise. But I don't think much has changed. I mean, people ask me about comedy itself and the whole PC thing, but again, it's not really changed for me. I still say what I say, and people either like it or they don't. I haven't really, even this year with the whole sort of BLM, I've not really changed the race-based stuff that I do. In fact, I've added bits that include sort of BLM stuff. So, no, personally, I don't think it's changed that much.
That's good. Yeah, interesting. Like newbies are all very much like, oh, must have been much easier back in the day. It's trying to get gigs or trying to get promoters to take you on. Or
I think it probably was in the 90s. I think before I got into it, to be honest, I think in the last century, I think it was, because there were far, far fewer comedians then. So in the 80s and 90s, there were far fewer comedians. Money was good, and I think there were less chances then. So I think everyone that was on the circuit was a very good comedian. Whereas now, comedy became so fashionable that everyone wanted to go at it. Everyone's doing a comedy course, and the amount of people I speak to, weekly, who are, oh, I'm having a go at that. Oh, I'm doing a comedy. Oh, I'd like, Whereas I don't think people did that before. I don't think people just saw. I think people thought, no, couldn't do. That's not something. That's not for me. It was like being a comedian was akin to being an acrobat. You know what I mean? No one thinks, oh, I think I'll have a go at being an acrobat. It's like that was what comedy was. Because you just know I can't possibly be an acrobat. Of course I can't. You know what I mean? I'm stiff as a board. I can't bend. I creep in the morning. But with comedy, people think, I'll have a go at that. That's look at McIntyre, 18 million quid. Yeah, I'll have a go at that. And so I think that's the thing, is that now everybody wants to be a bloody comedian, which is quite irritating. So that's a big change, I think. So not the industry, more people want to go at it.
Yeah.
Chances like me.
Lucy, you've been at it for a while, haven't you? She's frozen.
No.
She's like, nothing wrong with her internet. She's just like.
How long have you been at it, Lucy?
No. I did a comedy course in January of this year.
So literally, I've just described you, basically. Thanks.
Basically, short saying Welsh women with blonde hair. Yes, you described me. Cheers for that, Jezza.
Well, I thought, you know what? I thought Lucy's. I'm such an inspiration to Lucy. I thought I need to do something to really piss her off.
I mean, technically, Gerry, you are the reason I am the monster I am. When I saw the 7 o'clock show and you put a shout out and you said, if you've got any poems, get in touch. And I got in touch. And instead of you just reading my poem, you had me on to read my poem. And I was like, oh, this is great. And the next thing I know, I'm doing Big Will Small Talk. Then I did the loose. And then I made Sarah Bridgman do the kitchen sink.
Believe me,
you
into doing
are.
the kitchen sink.
It's down to me. I created. I'm like Frankenstein. I'm like Frankenstein, effectively.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of words for you, Gerry. I've got a bone to pick with you. I'm only joking. But she's really good.
I was like, you can fucking do it.
Well, this is the thing, though. This is the thing, and the thing I didn't add is that most of these new guys are actually good. That's the problem.
Oh, no. Too late now.
The amount of times I'll turn up at a gig and there's some new guy, and the other comedian, the established, will say to me, oh, have you seen this guy, this girl? Oh, they're really good. And I really don't want to hear that anymore. I want someone to say this chancer, he's going to die on his ass. But no, and invariably they are good. And so it's like, yeah, stop it, basically. Stop it. Stop being good. That's the key.
Stop trying. Let's go away.
When you mentioned about basically describing you, bar saying Welsh go blonde hair, I did, going back to the acting thing, I had a call up for an audition, and it was for the Hatton Garden, the dramatisation of the Hatton Garden burglary, and Hatton Garden burglarisation. And they called me out, and what they were after was a middle-aged, black, short, stocky Cockney. So they wanted a middle-aged, black, short and stocky Cockney to play the. Basically, they wanted me. That's what they wanted, right? So the point is, I went and I read for the role, and the point is, I didn't fucking get it. Oh, sorry, can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. That's an actor I am. I couldn't even get my own part.
Oh no.
His name was Gerry. He was not just a burglarizer. He was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, exactly. I think they were so pissed off. I think my audition was so bad that they put Jason Donovan in the role instead. We completely changed the story. He's so shit. We completely changed the story. Even if it's true. Yeah.
It's so hard to get anywhere in showbiz or in comedy or any faction of showbiz, acting, all that. Well, you see the people on TV, and I'm sure people are sat at home thinking, oh, I could do that. But like we were saying earlier, the minute being a comedian now isn't just about being a comedian. It's about, doing your own marketing, putting yourself out there. It's the last thing I want to do is go, hey guys, look at me. I'd rather just get booked, go out, do my thing, and kind of ignore the public not ignore the public, but do you know what I mean? It's hard putting yourself out there and going, hey, look at my stuff, look at the thing I did, especially after flipping. It's hard. I find it really hard. I know there's lots out there that find it quite easy to do that, but I really, like, Lucy knows, so she's always like, Sarah, could you at least do a poster or something, and could you let people know what we're doing? I'm like, oh, okay then. I just hate it. I find it really hard.
I hate the promotional bit, I have to say. I'm terrible at self-promotion. I really we've got so much time on our hands now, and I really should. I've got a website that I should update, and I just never do. And yeah, I'm just terrible at that check thing.
Just when you're being creative, it's just using such a different part of your brain to your admin. And like, my day job is very admin-y. I'm a teacher in my day job. I teach adults, online in my day job, and it's like that's very, very admin-y and very office based. So that's the last thing I wanted to do in comedy. I wanted to just write some funny stuff, go out and perform, and almost like you are with your mates. You know, you have a laugh with your mates. I just want to get out there and find the people I can have a laugh with, really. But it's like,
unfortunately, Don Ward at the Comedy Store. Excuse me, I need to charge. Don Ward at the Comedy Store once said to me, he said, "Comedy is a serious business." You know, and he's absolutely right. I mean, he hasn't said much to me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving it the old I'm a regular at the Comedy Store here, but he did say that to me, and it's a very good point. It is a serious business. It's business. I wish it wasn't. You know, it'd be lovely. I think we should all be given a grant. I think top 1,000 comedians, providing I'm in that 1,000, should just be given a grant to do the job. You know, they should just give us a wage.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Because
paid by the government.
We keep the nation's spirits up, right? That's what we do. So
Yes.
we can be given a good, decent wage and then just go out and do it. Basically. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I support that. Can you imagine the competition for that? How to prove that you're one of the top 1,000 comedians?
And not getting into not making the cut. Jeez. I remember there was oh god, I've forgotten the name. A comedian, anyway, a black comedian. She did. I've forgotten her name. Honestly, my memory's terrible. She did this thing, and it was like a cartoon, and she had virtual dinner tables, right? And around these dinner tables, she had black comedians, and they're all numbered. You know, so one was, I don't know, Rudy Liquid, and two was, it doesn't matter. Yeah, any black comedian you can think of. And the point is, there are quite a few of them, and I wasn't there. And that hurt. You know what I mean? Why would you not put me in? You know, in this? She said, "Oh, sorry, I forgot about you." Do you know what I mean? What's that about? That's what would happen to me. This 1,000, the thing I've just put forward, the government would leave me off the list. That's it. Yeah, they'd leave me off the list. I'd give up then. I wouldn't do it. That'd be it. I'll do something else.
You'll be on our list, Gerry.
I think
we were doing a comedy.
Yeah.
We're doing some sort of comic with lots of comedians of whatever background. You'll be on there.
I'm trying to get. I say trying. My idea is to actually publish my poetry. I mean, Lucy knows about poetry, obviously. I really want to publish it because that lady, the French lady, Lucy, you know her. Do you know her? She came on the show. I think you were in contact. You know
I remember. I can't remember her name, but I remember the French lady. Yeah,
Ellie Fant. That's what that was her, pseudonym, wasn't it? And she or I wrote her part, and she's actually got a book. She's published a book of poetry, and I really, really want to do that. Called the Coronaverses. I really, really.
Yeah, but I also sent you an entire page of poetry competitions that you should put your Black Lives Matter poem for, because it would have gotten through so many heats. Because you got thousands of views for that Black Lives Matter poem. I thought it was brilliant, and there are loads of competitions that you can enter your stuff into. And in fact, I went as far as finding you a list of competitions you could enter. How's that gone, Gerry?
Can I just say, she will call you out and tell you off in public, live. She's done that to me as well, so don't you worry, Gerry.
Sorry, Gerry's left. I mean, that is me all over though, Lucy. And thank you, by the way. But I've totally forgotten about it till now. I guess I'm too late now, aren't I? But
no, you're not too late.
No,
it's always a bloody
poem. Yeah, with poetry competitions, there's 1 second, right? Kyle, shut up. Look at that. I'm getting heckled from our own viewers. Pushy Lucy is hilarious, he says. But there are constantly competitions.
Time, Kyle.
The poetry competitions are continual, and the poem that you did after the first push of Black Lives Matter protests, I think was absolutely monumental, and I thought your delivery was fantastic, and that's why I made point of sharing your video over so many different places, because I wanted to help you get as many views for it, because it was rather fucking good, love.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I will revisit that, I promise, and I will push it.
I'll send you again.
Thank you.
And she will get in touch in a month's time just to check that you have done it. So
No, I need that though. I'm that type of person. I do need a kick up the arse. You know, I'm just, you know, I'm one of those guys. You know, I'm not a completer finisher. I'm a shaper. You know, I'm terrible. I need to sort it out.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
Well, I said,
I'm going to ask as well.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, when you do your Uber driving, do you make jokes with your passengers, or do they review you for talking? Because with Uber you get a rating,
Yeah.
and part of the rating can be if you talk to them. So what do you do if you want to be like, hey, I've got a joke about this?
It depends entirely on how they are when they first get in the car. So obviously I'll say hello, they'll say hello, and it really depends on their tone. I know immediately if they're the sort of person I want to have or that wants to have a conversation. They normally make it quite clear, so they'll sort of say hello and put their head straight down. They're straight on their phone, so I leave them to it. I know immediately if I say, "Oh, where are you going?" And they'll tell, and I just know from the way they answer me if they're up for a chat. And also on the back, on my headrest, on my rear headrest, I've got stickers of myself. It says something like, see if I can see them, not just your average cab driver. And then it says Gerry Kyei, and then it's all about me, right? So they'll see that when they get in. So, and I see them see it, and they'll look at me in the mirror to see if it is actually me, weirdly. They do. And then a lot of them will ask me about it. And then obviously we'll have a conversation. And if they've got a decent personality, in fact, I'll tell you a story. Have I got time to tell you a story?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a funny story. The other day, probably a month ago now, this girl got in, and lovely girl. And anyway, we're chatting away. We had a really nice chat. She was quite a way away, and she's got ADHD, right? She mentioned she's got ADHD. So anyway, that was that. Anyway, at the end of the journey, so I drive up, sort of say, okay, thanks, lovely, driving. She gets out and she says, do you want me to close the door? So I said, I was like that, incredulous. I was like, yeah. She went, no, because not everybody wants it closed. So I said, I think you can rest assured that everybody wants the door closed. And she said, oh, door, sorry, I meant window. And she got all flustered and she went, I told you I had ADHD. She was brilliant. So she was a lot of fun. I had a guy the other day who lost 4 stone, but also was doing the Oxford COVID trial. So he was quite interesting. So yeah. So it's it's 50-50.
Was he glowing green?
Yeah, he looks in good he looked very well on it, but he's halfway through. But yeah, he's that was it. So yeah, in answer to your question, I suppose it's entirely up to them. They'll let me know if they want to chat, and if they want to chat, I've always got plenty to say. So yeah.
That's so cool having that on the back of the chair though. That gives you a conversation, because we all dread it, and then you're going in the cab and you're like, oh, have you had a busy day? And well, it's terrible, so at least you've got something interesting to talk about.
Exactly. And also you never know who's going to get in the car, do you? If it's a TV producer or something, who knows? It might be someone who's looking for someone like me. Who knows? You just don't know. You never know, do you?
You never know. You never know. You've just got to put your, ego to one side and always be like on the lookout for the next thing, isn't it?
Yeah, always. There's no room for bashfulness in it, really. You've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Yeah. Yes.
See, that reminds me of the fact that you did a couple of TikTok videos, sort of based loosely on the clients that you've had, the Uber, what do you call them? Fucking pickups? I don't know. And when I had to watch your video,
fucking pickup. Yeah, maybe just a pickup. Passenger.
The video where you had to reveal that the butt of your joke was imaginary. That for me was a monumental because Gerry did a TikTok video, and I think it was about somebody that you'd picked up or somebody that you'd been in a shop with, and everyone went on the boards and went, "You can't say that about them. You shouldn't be mean to people." I think you'd maybe made reference to their weight as well,
Right.
and then
Yes.
go.
Yes.
By the way, this
Yeah.
story was entirely fictional, and it's
Yeah.
called a joke.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what? I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the joke, and I'm sure it's annoying me. Do you remember it at all, by any chance?
I
Because
I
I
think
can't
it was
remember.
after the one that somebody said you'd lost a lot of weight.
Oh, that's it. It's struggling. Was it struggling with your weight? Wasn't it? Was it that one? I think. Where you gone?
Oh, she's gone. Her internet shit.
Oh,
Her
but it's
internet's
shit, isn't it?
gone.
It's shit, isn't it? Blimey. Yeah, but well, she's seen it, so I'll tell you. But it's just about struggling with your weight, basically. I was making fun. I think I said that I met someone in the shop, and she said that I think she might have said her kid was struggling with his weight or something. It was something like that. And I said, I said something like, "Well, no, you're not struggling with your weight. You're struggling to say no to food." Do you know what I mean? I'm like, and I was saying that, do sex offenders get in court, and does the defence say, "I'm sorry, my lord, but at the time of the attack, my client was struggling with his cock." Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's
And as
such an
someone who
irritating
is trying to lose weight and has got 50 pounds to lose, I think that's funny
thing.
because it's true. It's not putting a fat person or somebody
It
with
is.
fat down, is it? Really?
I'm having
Come
a go at
on.
the term. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you're a
Yeah.
comedian, you understand that, right? You
Yeah.
know, as a comedian, you understand. It's not having a go at fat
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean? It's really, it isn't, is it? It's
Yeah.
but some people are thick, aren't they? That's what it comes down to. They're just
Yeah.
thick, and they choose what they're going to be. People are very selective. I
Yeah.
had someone write me a letter on my webpage. Was it called on my page anyway? And they were complaining about me doing a joke about Paralympics. I've got this joke about Paralympics, and no, I'll tell you what it was. It was spina bifida, right?
Right.
And this one woman said, "Yeah, I thought you were funny, but I can't believe you stooped so low as to make a joke about spina bifida." It was a very specific complaint to have, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Of all the things I've talked about, hello,
Yeah.
it's me.
She's
And
back.
you're complaining. I make a joke about one very specific ailment. It's like,
Yeah.
well, everyone in the audience, there's 400 people in that crowd. I imagine everyone in that crowd has been touched by one of the topics I've talked about. All of them. So all of them at one point will have, I talk about all sorts. I talk about myself. I talk about being black. I talk about being white. I talk about being short. I talk about, as you say, overweight. I talk about everything is covered. So everyone in the audience, So I think when you enter a comedy room, you've got to leave that shit behind and understand that, I'm going to talk about some stuff that might affect you, and definitely will,
Yeah.
in fact. And that's the
Yeah.
same for. I'm not a particularly shocking comedian, but.
And isn't it more interesting? I find it much more interesting to watch an actor is talking about real stuff and what they really believe in and what they really find, and they try and find the funny in a shit situation or, in a shit, thing. And all of that is, my brain's gone. But, do you know what I mean? It's just like, surely that's better. But hey, I might be offended by one or two jokes. But if overall it's hilarious, like, oh, look at them, they're making fun of this person or that. Oh no, but they better not come for the left-handed people because I'm left-handed.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's just, come on, guys.
The thing is, with adult comedy, that is what's funny about it. It's, in my book anyway, for me, it's the wrongness that is the point of the joke. The fact that it's wrong is what's funny about it. For me anyway, that's how I see it. It's and I realised that actually because I thought I could be more accessible to families or whatever. If I didn't do certain things, but I was watching a thing called Flowers. Have you seen Flowers?
Oh no, it's on my list. Maybe we should put that as one of ours. I've heard all about it, and Olivia Colman's in it,
Yeah.
so
I
it's
love
on my list to watch.
So there's one scene in it, and it made me laugh so much, and it made me realise what I find funny. That one joke made me realise what my funny is all about, if that makes, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the joke isn't necessarily the best joke ever, but it's just the nature of that joke is bang on what I think is funny. You know, it's bang on what is funny to me. And it's, can I tell you it?
Yes, please.
It won't necessarily be funny to you. It's not one of these things where you feel the need to laugh. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very much, it's a situation. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, it's so funny. Basically, so Olivia Colman, they're having a dinner party, and Olivia Colman, as the woman in the piece, has gone to a lot of trouble to be the perfect hostess, and she's put a really lot of effort in. You know what I mean? And she's looking to impress people. Anyway, this one guy walks in, and he's quite a pompous guy, but he walks in. And he just walks in the middle, and he just goes like this. He goes, "What is that smell?" And Olivia Colman very proudly says, "Oh, you know, it's me. I've cooked." And he went, "Smells like shit." And it's like, it's just a candid way that he just blatantly said in the middle of his dinner party. Smells like shit. You know, you have to be there. It was, to me, and I just thought at that moment, I thought, yeah, it's the wrongness of what he's just done there. That's, to me, that's brilliant. That's genius.
Sounds a bit Alan Partridge-ish for that character to do that.
Yeah. There are elements of this guy. I think with Partridge is an idiot, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So, whereas this guy is quite upstanding, a little bit posh, and it was a surprise, just came and hit you, you know, because you just never thought the way he was smelling the air, you just never dreamed, even in a comedy, that he was going to come out with that. You know, it was the way he said it without batting an eyelid, and yeah, it was just great. I loved it, absolutely loved it. But Flowers is great. Yeah, watch it. It's big fan of it.
Right, it is on the list. I'm going to watch it for sure. Yeah, it's interesting.
I had a friend. I was going to say, I had a friend who watched a lot of my comedy back to back, and he genuinely said, "Oh, you're edgy. You're basically like Frankie Boyle." And I was like, "Do you want to watch it again, mate? I really don't think I am." But for him, I was. He found me that edgy. It's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. But I mean, I make a few jokes, and I can be quite crude, but I no way, shape, or form I was in that camp.
I've had that. People get very confused, don't they? People get what I think what it is. People only have so many boxes to put you in. So this guy has probably got Frankie Boyle, Bernard Manning, Lee Evans, Michael McIntyre, and you've got to be. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be in one of those boxes.
Yeah.
So Frankie Boyle's the closest one he had. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's how people. Yeah, that's because I get that all the time. Oh, you're like this, you're like that, and I'm clearly not. You know what I mean? But that's they're the only boxes they've got left, sort of thing. You know. You're Lucy all. I've never seen you live, Lucy. I've never seen any of your stuff. I must look you up.
But yeah, I used to get a lot when I was starting.
Surprising, because this is where Pushy Lucy comes back in.
I must when it's all.
Well, when I was starting out, I used to play the guitar. I used to play comedy songs for the first year or so. So anyone used to say to me was, "Oh, you like Victoria Wood because she is funny and plays music." I'm like, right, and I'm like, again, you're like, I'm nothing like Victoria. She's a fucking genius. Thanks, but she's a comedy genius. I'm not. Well, I'm sure I am in my own household, but the vast majority of the UK are refusing to see my genius right now. But it is like you say, is that people are trying to think, oh, what does this unusual thing? How can I make sense of this? So I know. I say they're like this. It's like, okay, and it's interesting in terms of communication. Whatever you say, it's how you mean it to come across, but then it's how it goes into someone else's head and how we interpret or process that information. We're all kind of living our own experience, guys. So,
how long have you been? How long have you been at it, Sarah?
10 years.
Oh, 10, okay.
Yeah,
okay. But you've been at it quite a while. So I'm surprised we've never met then.
Yeah, me too. I have done some Mirth gigs. I have, but it's because I'm in Wales. I'm in Swansea, more the left-hand side of the country, more Wales way. And although I've been going a long time, it was only this year that I started getting more and more gigs, and I felt like I was like, right, this is it now. Let's get more momentum, and then COVID hit, and it was like, it's me and quite a few people that I know we were all at, because I say 10 years, but the first 4 years is trying to figure out what do I want to do. And I did like musical comedy, you know, doing sketches, part of improv, just doing lots of different stuff until I was like, or maybe I could just do stand up. Maybe I could just make it easy on myself and just get up there and say some funny shit, you know? So, yeah, so although it's 10 years, I'd say it's probably more like more like 5 years, really.
Oh, of course, you had a, yes. I've remembered something.
The kitten woman.
Yes.
Oh,
there's 3 cats on it. My ears
it's everywhere for me. That's why I've
I'd say my ears look more like bat ears than cat
well,
ears.
they must be cheap.
They were cheap. They were from Poundland.
By the way, Lucy,
sorry, Gerry. I was just going to say, did you see what I did there, though? I just said, yeah, right, they were cheap. They're from Poundland. I didn't, like, go down your throat the way you did with me earlier, saying I'm having a go at you. Can I just mention that next time?
Right, stop arguing in front of the guest. Right, Gerry, what were you going to say about me?
Your makeup looks better on that side. There. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what's happened, the lighting or something, but it looks better. Your makeup looks better. I don't know if you had a touch up when your internet was down. But,
yeah.
Maybe that the 30 seconds of stress, shouting rude words. Not now. maybe it judged me up.
Wait, Lucy, where are you?
It's becoming part of my comedy persona. Woman with the bad internet.
Where are you in the country? Where are you in the country, Lucy?
She's in Devon.
So I'm originally I'm South Walian, but I'm living in Devon. So it's beautiful that Sarah and I have made friends online since the pandemic. We're both women from Wales, but Sarah's in Swansea and I'm in England, in Devon.
England, darling. Yes.
That's right. I was trying to tap you up for a couch, wasn't I? I remember. When I had a gig.
Yeah, but unfortunately you were going to be in Gloucester.
Yes, that's it. Oh, yes. Not Devon, yeah. Yes, not Devon at all. Yeah.
Only a couple of miles away. Couple of hours away.
I'm a man. That equals that. So, you know.
Hey!
I don't know if I'll ever be down in Devon again.
I'm very conscious of... Don't. If you do come to Devon and you don't visit me, I swear to God, Pushy Lucy turns into Stalker Lucy.
If you say Pushy Lucy, Carl, is Carl a good friend of yours?
Pushy Lucy.
I definitely will, because I want a couch. I really hate paying for hotels when I gig. I know so many people around the country. I really begrudge paying for a hotel. I mean that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being a tight ass. It's just I do, particularly if it's a weekend, because you have to get 2 nights. There's no good getting one, because you're out there by 10 o'clock the next day. So so for that reason, trust me, if I'm working in Devon, sort the couch out for me. and Wales, Sarah. Now I know you.
Oh yes. Yeah, don't worry. I'll make sure there's the couch. Yeah. The couch is always there for you, Gerry.
Thank you. Thank you
as
very
long
much.
as you don't have cats. As long as you're not allergic to cats.
I love cats.
Oh, cool. Because we've both got cats.
Yes. Not the musical Sarah Brightman, but the animal.
The animal one. Animal print.
I love cats and dogs. I'm not sort of one or t'other. I love them both. So bring it on.
Okay.
I'm just very, very conscious of the time, even though I think I have to be honest, and I can say this whilst you're on here, Gerry. I've done really well at being able to formulate full sentences and not being too starstruck. So I do get a little brownie point, because you're you. Get to the end, and then I went all there. But I want to make sure that we are together until that last fucking second. So if you go on Twitter, boys and girls, so It is Gerry K Comic, all one word, and I've just posted that in all the platform threads. And also, if you look Gerry K up, and now your name is Gerry Shea, which is Kyei, but you shorten it, and your stage name, so to speak, is just Gerry K. And the 7 o'clock show, I thoroughly enjoy. Say that again.
Because it's unpronounced. People often ask, why do I just use Gerry K? They think I'm being like a rapper. Yeah, I try to explain to people because, as you know, my surname, which is Kyei, and pronounced Che, is therefore unpronounceable in English. So it was much easier just to take the letters off and just use the initials. That's the story.
But if you go to Gerry K, then you've got links. You can find your website, you can find your TikTok, you can find your Facebook, and I genuinely do recommend to everybody give the clock show a try, and you will find within a couple of episodes you will be one of the regulars tweeting or messaging in, going, "Oh, what about so and so? You were meant to do this." You have such not like a family vibe, but the members that watch your 7 o'clock show, they are like a little gang. It's not exclusive. It's very easy to become part of the 7 o'clock show family. So I strongly recommend that to anybody.
Yeah. Because I very rarely use Twitter, but yeah. So Facebook, obviously, on TikTok, it's I forget what I am, to be honest. Am I Gerry? I think no, I use my full name on TikTok. So my full name, Gerry Kyei, is on TikTok. My full name, Facebook. Oh no, Gerry K. See, I wish I'd never done it now. Actually, I wish I'd just kept my full name, because what's ended up happening is it's fractured. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, you'll find me if you look. It's not that difficult to find me. Gerry K, Gerry Che. You'll find me in any number of places.
And also, we never let our guests leave without basically abusing the connection and saying, do you have something that you could suggest to us to be a guest at the kitchen sink? Is there somebody that you think would be a great suit, another comedian that we could get in touch with to allure them to the kitchen sink?
Or an enemy that you want to get your own back on to get them on the kitchen sink.
Well, he's one and the same. No, I'll tell you, I think would love it. Mike McLean. Mike McLean was in the 90s, was a bit of a star. He when Big Breakfast first came out with Chris Evans and Gabby Roslin, he used to do the outside broadcast. He would go around council estates and give people to knock on the door, and give them televisions and various other things. Then he was on Richard and Judy. He had a cameo on the Office the movie, and he's done a few things. Mike, people will recognise him, and now he's stand up like us, and he does mind reading as well. So yeah, Mike McLean, I think, would love to do it, and you'd find him very entertaining.
Oh, I remember Mike McLean from the Big Brother days. Yeah,
that's the one.
That's Big Breakfast days. Sorry, not Big Brother.
Yeah, you remember him? Yeah, Big Breakfast. That's right. Yeah. He did the match as well with Gaza and Bobby Robson, all the guys. So yeah. So you'll have fun with Mike.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll get in.
Brilliant. So we can get in touch with him and say Gerry K said to get in touch, because that is what we will be doing.
Because you do see we'll be doing that. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. You absolutely. Now you've got to know us a bit. Maybe we'll get you back again in the future sometime for another natter. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gerry. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, what a lovely guy. What a lovely, lovely guy. What a great guest. Well done, Lucy. And her internet's gone again.
Did I hold it together well?
You did.
Did I hold it together? Did I?
Yes, you did. For the first 20 minutes, you couldn't have said a frigging word. You knob.
I'm very conscious of just doing this face.
Yeah. You're like...
Keep smiling, hold it together. But I mean, oh my God, that man doesn't even realise it, but he's the reason I'm the monster that I am.
Yes. Well, yeah, maybe he doesn't realise what he's done.
No, complaints should be made too.
Yeah. No, but how come, just because you saw him do his stuff, you went, I could do that. You know, is that what it was?
So,
Because there were a few people that did
what it
it.
was.
Mm.
So what it was.
What was?
What happened was,
was. Yeah.
I got a taste. I did my first 13, 14 gigs, and then
Yeah.
lockdown came down. And I did that John Pearson's online open mic. And then I was like, quite like that, but I don't really know, because I mean, I was just an open. Now I know that we're going to set, but this was old mentality, not new mentality.
Right.
But in my mentality, I was just an open micer, and the gatekeepers even happened online. And what Gerry did was make me realise, they're off. There are no rules.
Yeah.
You want to do a show? Do a show. Like he said, if anyone's got any poetry, please get in touch. And I'd written some funny poems because we'd been doing workshops with myself and my guys off the course, and we'd just done a poetry workshop where we were writing stupid, silly poems, just as a writing type, like an exercise to keep our brains going.
Yeah.
I tuned into the 7 o'clock show, and Gerry said, if you've got a funny poem, get in touch. And I thought, well, I'll submit it and he'll read it because it's his show. And he was like, no, I'll ring you during the show and you do it because it's your poem. I'm like, what? Me? But I'm just an open micer. And the power just went to my fucking head. And I was like, he's here.
Here's Lucy. Knocking at the door with a machete.
But it's just because even when we started off with lockdown, even something like this, it felt like it had to be an official stream. Do you know what I mean? That it took us a while to realise that the warden had left the keys in the lock.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if you've been told repeatedly by the veteran comedians that you are just an open micer, and you're like, all of a sudden you can see this sort of, the lock's not done, and you're like, oh, what's around here? And then all of a sudden you go,
oh, hello.
There's no rules. This is unprecedented bloody times. I'm going to do my own bloody show.
Yeah.
And that was the mental click that Gerry helped me do. And then also he's helped me when I've had writer's block. He's helped me when we've had personal losses. He's been somebody that I can run a message and he will think about his answer and send me back a valid response. He never just says, look, Lucy, like, leave me alone. We don't even know each other properly. Like, cough. He is really, really, he's such a nice guy.
Like, he hasn't ghosted you. Like some people we won't make.
He hasn't ghosted me, no, exactly. He sort of made me feel like I was a equal peer, as opposed to I'm a great comedian and you're a little person. Here's a crumb. He's a genuinely nice guy, and I now feel, and this is not even just because he's been on the show. If I needed to get in touch with him and ask him something about comedy or my stand-up or my career or something, this personal decision, I could ask him, and he wouldn't be like, "Why are you asking me?"
Yeah. Just reminds me of someone that I know like that, who took the time. I had a gig in Weston-super-Mare, and he is someone who's been going donkey's years. He was the headliner of that night, very well-respected comedian, Matt Price. Very well-respected comedian and a brilliant storyteller, fantastic comedian. And on the night, I felt like I'd had a good gig, and I plucked up the courage to say, oh, would you mind giving me some feedback? Fully expecting it just to be, oh, yeah, it was good, keep going, or whatever. You know, I didn't expect, it was like, okay, yeah, let me think about it, and I'll be in touch. And I didn't hear anything for a few days. And then I got a massive full essay, and it was so useful, so helpful. and I'll always be grateful for that someone
Yeah.
bothered to take the time to say, look, this is what I really think. And I was like, oh my God. So that man will always be very high in my estimation purely for that. You know, we've talked a lot about, you know, the shitty guys of comedy. Let's, you know, celebrate some of the good guys. And yeah, by the sounds of it, Gerry, Kyei and Matt Price is just reminded me, actually. I'll message him, see if he can come on the show. But I haven't seen him much, actually, since lockdown. So I don't know how it's affecting some people, isn't it?
Because
So
yeah. And the other thing is, you know, when we were saying how, oh, it's because I'm desperately trying to upload this bloody video without.
Let's leave it. We could talk about it without the bloody video anyway.
It's because I'm trying to, on the sly, upload the trailer for the review, and I can't get it to work. I keep thinking the internet's fine. Nobody's going to see my hand go like this. Upload the video, and then everyone goes, oh, your video's gone, Lucy. Oh, for fuck's sake. So we won't have a trailer for it. But you know how he was saying, you know, there's the first 1,000 people should get a wage because they're comedians. I genuinely think if you were able to review people's accounts, which is another good reason. I mean, for me, furlough was quite funny. Everyone had to provide evidence, the real books, to prove the, like, you know, all the self-employed people that have gone, I made a £5. When the furlough came out, they were like, no, I made 1,000. It was like all the secret tax books came out. And I do think, like, somebody like Gerry, who is a jobbing comedian and not just the occasional job here and there. And I know this sounds harsh because it's sort of like, it's like the University of Comedy. Like you've got training wheels on for a long time, and you can't expect to get paid for every gig. And a lot of it is for exposure, or for networking, you know, or traveling an hour and a half in your car for 5 minutes unpaid. And that does exclude a lot of people from the comedy world. But with Gerry, I genuinely don't feel like he is a gatekeeper and that he wants to keep newbies out of the industry.
Yeah.
Now that he's gone and my brain is thinking completely clearly, I'd love to say to him, who helped you? Who, if we can make a note of this for next time he comes on, and I'll be like way cooler. I'll even speak in the first 10 minutes, man.
Don't go promising anything you can't deliver, right?
But yes, I would love to know, is the way he is it because somebody helped him? Is it because he had a mentor in the comedy world? Because, I mean, face it, Sarah, whether you like it or not, you're mine. So,
Am I?
Sorry. Yeah, you are.
I feel for you more than anything, man.
I'm coping all right, love. It's all right.
You better ring me up now because we had a little spat earlier.
Did we?
Yes, sir.
Can't believe we argued in front of the guest. That's how comfortable Gerry makes me feel.
I thought, I'm not leaving this till later because I'll forget and she'll forget. She has to be told. We argued in front of Sean as well, didn't we? That's not
I want to speak to Kyle and Stephen, right? Pushy Lucy is hilarious was the one message. Do as Lucy says or you'll never hear the end of it, Steve says. And then Kyle, this time, if you say Pushy Lucy in the mirror 5 times, Lucy appears behind you. Right, boys. Watch it. And I know that I've pushed both of them in situations that they may not want, but they've enjoyed every single one of them.
They're said with love. You don't have to be you don't have to come at people guns blazing every time. Stop competing.
Right, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Never. Right, shall we move on to La Review? Sadly, La Review, because we've got international now. So unfortunately, due to time constraints, I managed to make the trailer, but I haven't been able to upload the trailer. And every time my internet fucked off tonight, that was me trying to secretly do it.
It's the spooky Halloween ghosts not allowing you to play your trailer.
It's the ghost in the shell to manga fans out there. So our comedy review is Benson, and also this is pause for a minute, because Sarah and I have said we're going to improve on this. Sarah is on Facebook, Sarah Bridgman Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
I am on Facebook, Lucy Orchard Comedy. You take our names and then you put the word comedy at the end of it. Like what you see, follow us for more content. On Twitter, I am the Lucy Fool, and Sarah is New Year Bridgie. If you don't know how to spell that, go on the Lucy Fool. I tag her in loads of stuff.
I think I'd come up if you put Sarah Bridgman in there as well.
Yeah. We're also the Sink Girls on Twitter. We have our own Facebook page, The Kitchen Sink. And if you go to jokepit.com and type in Kitchen Sink, you will find our fan page where you too can donate and support our tech fees.
Yes.
How did I do there, love? How did I do? Was that all right?
You did it. You did it, which is more than I've done. So well done. I'm just checking Twitter if I come up when you put in Sarah. Oh no, there's shitloads. Yeah, don't look for me on Twitter.
Yeah, look for Lucy Fall, and then you'll see her tagged on every post I do.
Yeah, you can find me through Lucy or the Sink Girl.
If you go to lucyorch.com, you'll find all the links to all the Kitchen Sink social media accounts. Because just like Gerry, I have a website that needs updating.
I'm shocked that you have a website. I don't have a website, but I should have
It's lucyorch.com. There's a modern artist called Lucy Orchard.
Is there?
And I first got lucyorch.com back in the late 90s when websites first came out, but I didn't keep my eye on the date. And the day it expired, this other Lucy Orchard got the website back.
No,
and then when I was looking for websites and I was looking for Lucy Orchard Comedy and Lucy this and Lucy that, I actually thought, what about lucyorchard.com? Or I think it was Andy, my mate Andy, Andy B. He said, I've just looked, Lucy Orchard's there. Why didn't you go for that one? I was like, she dropped the ball. Ha ha! It's mine again, Lucy. So yeah, at any point you want modern art or comedy, it's bound to be one of us.
Well, interestingly, the Bridgman family, Bridgman, have an art gallery. It's the Bridgman Art Library. I know, but the name is spelled slightly differently. It doesn't have an E to it. So isn't that interesting? You've got modern art. I've got an art library. Yeah, the Bridgman Art Library. If you Google it, it's just like all the big... It's like don't get competitive now. We're not in competition. But it's just interesting that you've got something arty that someone else has got to do with your name. And I've got something arty to do with my name as well. Huh?
I use my phone. Now they all say, "Oh, iPhones are like AI. They're listening to you." Right? So then my phone should hear me call you Bridgman all the time. Yeah. And I do a lot of the promotions for the Sink on my phone. So I'm always at Sarah Bridgman Comedy. Make a co-host at Sarah Bridgman. Like the word Bridgman goes into my phone repeatedly. Yeah. Or even in my phone contacts are Sarah Bridgman. And yet, if I type Sarah Bridgman in a text message, it wants to change it. It will not accept it whatsoever. And I'm like, what more do you need for you to realize this woman is in my life and this is her name?
It's so annoying. I've got to say, like, anytime I'm trying to do anything in my phone, it keeps trying to change whatever word I'm trying to put in. I'm like, for God's sake, I want to put in dandy. It's dandy, not dandelion. Stop doing it. It's honestly, God, it drives me insane writing
Well,
text
I
messages.
got told that if you make a phone contact with the words fuck and fucking and the other word that I'm not allowed to say because my mother's in the room, right? It recognizes it because it'll think it's a pronoun and not a verb. So,
Right.
or at least not an insult. I suppose, yeah, verb. You can do both of them. And the thing is, I put a phone contact in as fucking fuck, and just saved it,
Yeah.
and still it fucking changes what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So annoying,
I
isn't
have
it?
never been violent to ducks. I'm a big lover of all waterfowl. And yet it ducking changes while I'm ducking saying all the ducking time.
Can I just say, about 10 minutes ago, we started doing the sync review for Benson, and the fact we haven't said one word about it, does that tell us what we need to know about Benson?
No, right, okay, Benson, the reason why I'm annoyed is because I couldn't get the trailer to work, but not only did I enjoy it, I laughed from the get-go, and after the day I had, I'm going to finish watching the rest of the series. Genuinely, that's how I felt about it.
You're binging it. What happened to my hair?
It looks lovely, darling.
It doesn't.
Are we allowed?
I'm stuck in it. Sorry. Carry on. I'm listening.
So,
Yuck.
you know, like that feel of Taxi, the comedy Taxi with that,
Yeah.
that wow wow noise. So it had those lovely incidental notes in between them. I mean, from the get-go, the language was slightly retro.
Yeah.
That was a shocker. Sorry, what you just said? What? I have to remember it was in context of the time.
Well, I didn't watch the first episode. I ended up watching episode 6 of series 2 because that was the only one I could find that was a decent standard on YouTube. And it was interesting because they talk about the kitchen sink a lot. There's the one where the plumber dies under the kitchen sink. I was like, this was perfect.
On brand. You just said I would clip that. So the very first that I watch, he walks in, the dog's in the big, he goes to stay at a governor's house. So he's in the house for soap, and he manages to meet this governor, and that's when the crossover must appear. He goes, "Can you please save me?" So Benson gets chased by the dogs. The gardener's got the sprinklers on it, and the housekeeper is German and angry that he's got dirty shoes, right? So it's very much like, I'm being harassed. And then he meets the governor's secretary. And I'm genuinely, I'm going to repeat word for word, even there are no bad words in it, bad context. I'm going to go with it anyway. So she said, I know. I know. So she says, "You must be Mr. Benson." And he goes, "How do you know I'm Benson?" And she goes, "You're the only person of colour." Person of colour has an appointment with. And I flinched, but I was very aware of how nobody on that writing group or at that period of time would have flinched. And I thought, oh, that's a bit harsh, obviously. And then she goes, "Thank God you're here. We need you to save us." And he's like, "I'm leaving. The German housekeeper is absolutely nuts." And all they do is layer compliments and position of power onto him in that house. We're running on the expenses. We don't know where anything is. The rota isn't done. We don't know who's working for us. You are our savior. Please save. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And the interaction, yes, there are stupid 70s person of colour references, but they're never like, you can tell they're of the age as opposed to derogatory. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's the wrong word they're using, but it's not an insult.
Yeah.
That's the way I approached it.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. It was, you'd think it's early 80s, is it? Or late 70s. You'd think at that time that it could have been done in it. I mean, my first I mean, I remember watching it when it was out at the time. It was one of the ones that would have been on Channel 4 probably, or S4C or something. And I remember it, I liked it. I liked it at the time, but I loved soap, so and I remember liking the character of Benson from soap as well. So I don't remember the individual programs. I remember watching it and coming back to it fresh. It was, yeah, it's still a very watchable episode of TV. I really enjoyed it. I loved that kind of stereotypical characters. I loved what's her name? The actress that was from Greece was in it. And she's great to watch. And the guy that was like played her husband, he's been in loads of films since then. But I would say if we're talking about the colour thing, the first thing I noticed is like, oh my god, this is so white. The only person in it is Benson. Everyone else is white.
Yeah.
There's no Asian people. There's no one with any different accent really. Yeah, it was that was interesting because you just, and that's been right up to recently. So it just goes to show that although it's got a long way to go, I think we're getting much better in terms of diversity. I think it was well written.
Well, you know how when we watched the Mary Tyler Moore show. She's the main character, but she had shit lines. All she did was react to the funny person saying something.
Yeah.
His lines. He had the lines,
he always had
like the governor. Lines. He always had the comeback. Like the housekeeper, she had some great lines, but his always outdid it. Like the
best lines, the best
always outdid
lines.
It.
He always came out on top, which is rare for the time. I suppose it's him and Bill Cosby were the only two really like that at the time. I don't know that much.
But is that how they reasoned it? He gets the best lines because they weren't going to put any other people of colour in the bloody scenes.
Oh, I wasn't on the writing team. You left off them.
But you know what I mean? It was like, with Mary Tyler Moore, I loved it and I absolutely fell in love with it. But then I realised, it dawned on me, she's got absolutely no lines.
She's not, and there weren't women on the writing team at all. And she's just the one just standing around, like we said, reacting. He was involved. Benson's involved. He's got the best lines. Yeah. He's the top dog. They quite often go to him. Well, they always go to him for help. And what are we going to do? This is down to you, and everyone else is the fool, really. So although it is from, his perspective and his witness, at least, he's still it's almost like he's still the top person. So that was good. Yeah. But I think in terms of the comedy, I found the comedy quite straightforward and it's good, but it's like some of them you're like, yeah, you can see that from a mile off. And it's just nice, easy. You're not going to be challenged.
Like a comfortable pair of old slippers.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and I love that synth music that they use. Bow, bow, wow. So when they go from one scene to another, they'll go from inside the house to somewhere else and they'll show outside of the building for like 5 seconds whilst they go. I
really like the house. It was like the governor's house. It looked like the White House. I'm like, who is living here? And most of the scenes are all in one room, one tiny room. It's like, oh my god, who are you kidding? That anyone was placed here,
I quite like to look at the little girl because even in season 1, episode 1, she's like this big, and her writing is like Stewie. Her writing is the sentences of a 37-year-old wise woman. And I would love to see she continue. Where did she go?
Yeah,
like as like a 7-year-old, where she's sort of going through the scripts and going, I'm really not present in this scene.
Yeah. Get my agent on the phone.
You're making me sound very infantile in this scene. I mean, where's my development?
Yeah. Well, Hugh tells us that it was Jerry Seinfeld's acting debut. So I didn't know that.
Always rely on Hugh to know stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't double checked it.
We always just assume Hugh knows exactly what he's on about. He's like the Stephen Fry of the kitchen sink.
He could be making it all up. He could be like, yeah, I reckon that's something that would.
It fell for that one.
Okay.
What the reason why I put it forward was because last week on the Drop Comedy Club that I love to perform at, Spider was there, and I was saying to Spider, well, we watched Living Single, and if anything, I thought it was more Golden Girls than Friends. And we all started discussing it. It was like a little review session, and then I said, right, come on, guys, give me more. Give me more secret gems. And it was King David Lane, one of my favourite comedians from the Drop Club, who said, you want to watch Benson. And the one thing he said about Benson was it was great writing, great character development, great scenery, great production, but it didn't go far. That was it. It went so far and then just stopped. And he felt that it had legs to keep going, but for some reason it just didn't. And it'd be fascinating to know why. I mean, in our lifetime, I know that many programs that we've enjoyed all died because the famous writers' strike. That I think, what was it, 2014, where it was the writers' strike, and there's so many programs I absolutely adored. But due to the strike, just
didn't come back.
Just didn't come back.
Yeah. Could you name any?
I've got a funny. The Glades. I loved The Glades.
Right.
So I watched The Glades. Was like it was set in Florida, and it was a detective program where this guy, he's kind of haphazard, but he's an amazing detective, and he solves all the crimes. And I watched every single episode for 7 seasons. Then the writer's strike happened, and they just went, fuck it. And on the last episode, they just lazily tied up all these bloody loose ends. And spoiler alert, guys, if you're still watching The Glades, he went he was going to marry they had a will they, won't they relationship. They did. They got married. He was going to surprise her by saying he'd bought the house or put it on the house that they liked. He went there early. And the final scene was he went, this is brilliant, turned around, and somebody shot him, and we don't know who. And I was like, you lazy bastard. Writer's strike saved Breaking Bad. Kyle, you're going to have to explain that one a little bit further. I mean, I personally don't like those kind of programs.
What? Breaking Bad.
I don't like glamorization.
You take that back.
I don't like glamorization of drug sales or gun cartels or like Pablo Escobar stuff or Craze or Peaky Blinders or Breaking Bad. It's not my bag. I want a nice traditional, I want a sleepy English village where somebody dies and the criminal is kept to the end.
Breaking Bad is brilliant though. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, the writing and the slow delivery is really fantastic. I tell you what, a comedy that I really enjoyed, that I really loved, that got killed by the writer's strike is the Bee in Apartment 23. So that's one of those short sitcoms, and I
started watching that. I really like the girl that was in that.
Yeah, like the little one with the massive eyes. I haven't seen her in anything since, and her comedy
the brunette in that one. Yeah. All right, they did a run of Marvel Universe. Yes, and they bring back Heart to Heart. Well, we are bringing back Heart. November the 5th.
Yeah,
Jennifer Hart is going to be on the kitchen sink on November the 5th. There you go. She chose that name for Jennifer Hart. With that, it was lesser characters of Marvel, and I really like that woman from the Bee, or the bitch in 24B. We can say that. And I watched the Marvel program, and I swear to God, it was like eating dry cardboard. I was like, no, I can't. And I'm a massive comic book fan.
I loved it. Get past the first couple of episodes, I really got into it. Yeah,
I think that's when I fell at the hurdle. I was like, oh, fuck this now.
No patience. That's your problem, Lucy. You've got no patience.
I tried to give everything 3 episodes, and when it takes like 5 or 6 for it to start ramping up, I'm like, sorry, mate, I gave you 3.
I've given you 3 hours of my life. I don't care how amazing you are. You're shit. Oh, are we done? Is that it?
We're done, but I would like you I've
Benson is
brought Benson to the table, so it's your turn
Oh yeah.
to provide. Let me type it in. Next week's review.
I'm going to go with Flowers then, because I haven't seen it, and it'll make me watch it. It's been on my to-do list for ages.
Do we know where it's from?
I believe it's on Netflix and Channel 4, and I'll tell you what, that one that we mentioned earlier is actually on YouTube. But yeah, it was from Channel 4 originally, but it's definitely on Netflix. I'm just going to double check if it's on Channel 4.
What's the name? Olivia.
Olive Coleman.
It is Netflix, it says. Is it? No, it says Channel 4, watch now for free.
It's on Channel 4. So yeah, it's on Channel 4.
It's got Julian Barrett. I bloody love Julian Barrett from The Mighty Boosh. I love Will Sharp from 2012. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Obviously love Olivia Colman. I don't think. Okay, well, it looks like a stellar cast. There's got a character in it called Barry. Nothing is wrong when someone's called Barry.
It is on Netflix as well.
It is on Netflix as well. Right, next week's review is Flowers.
Marvellous. Does anyone actually watch these programs who are watching us now, our regulars? Do you watch these programs? Sometimes people will make comments, but most of the time you don't.
I think you mentioned that he's done his homework, but I'm not quite sure what. I think it was a reference to one of my shows one of the times. I don't know. I do it. Oh, look at your little pumpkin.
You can't see it, but this one's full of mold. It's disgusting. Ooh. Actually, should I turn the lights off? Should I turn the lights off so you can see the full effect of my pumpkin, as it were? I put a nice dress on tonight as well.
You turn the lights off. Can you see my dress?
Ooh.
For our podcast listeners,
Don't have nightmares.
It looks very jack-o'-lantern, actually, because it's a bit worn, a bit aged. But please, as well, if you are one of our podcast listeners, please give us a like, a share, a subscribe, and leave a review, 5 stars, please. And get in touch with us at the Sync Girls on Twitter. That's the
That's a cool shadow.
Cool shadow. It is. I can see the shadow. For our podcast listeners, Sarah's aware of actually casting a shadow against her own wall, and she's going a little bit Sarah Brightman. But she will not have anything to do with what's the one she went out with the cellist? What's his name?
Andrew Lloyd Webber. How anyone would tag that man is beyond me. He is not an attractive man.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Who was with you then? I thought she went out with the brother.
No.
So she might have, but she was married to Andrew Lloyd Webber.
She's the one that said he had the massive wanger.
Oh well. That'll be it then. You don't want to be looking at that.
I just assumed because she made reference to him having massive things between his legs, I thought it was the cellist.
I thought it was his wallet. Way. Oh, before we go, I meant to. We're going to have a future guest, Ethel Sears. She's coming up the end of November. I did. She didn't ask me to, but I did say that I would mention she's got a gig tomorrow night with a really good lineup. It's Block Comedy. It's online. So if you Google Block Comedy online, I think there's a couple of tickets left. She is going to lock it off. So grab yourself a ticket if you can. It's £5. It's crazy, ridiculous, great lineup. So I'm going to be in the audience.
And just to help, it is BLOC.
That's right. Yeah. Block
Not
comedy.
block,
Yeah.
BLOCK.
Yeah.
So,
I
okay,
will put it in
okay.
the comments. Block comedy. Which is, if you know Esselt on Twitter, he's tweeting about it all week. So, yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, because it's a Friday night, I've got the Weekly Bazaar followed by Icecast, which is I'm a co-host on a interview show for people that make comic books, sell them or write them.
There's another one. Is this another show that you started?
No, now I have got
now,
nothing to
right, now. How many is that now?
No. It's because my co-host from the Weekly Bazaar, Shane Chebsby, he actually organises, before the lockdown, he organises comic book conventions, and he started his own podcast and streaming show. And because he isn't very versed on broadcasting, he has asked me to join him at the beginning to help him out, because he knows the artists and the guests, he knows all that, but I know how to chat to people regardless of whether or not I know what the fuck I'm on about. So when he gets a bit flustered, I lean in and I ask a cracking question, which has got absolutely no academia behind it. I sort of lean in and I go, what do you think about drawing Judge Uniform then? And then all erupt into conversation, and I go walk away in the background. I'm going, I've got a clue what I'm talking about. Right. Oh, cool. So next week's review is Flowers. Everybody's homework is to go on Channel 4 or Netflix and to watch an episode of Flowers. Or if you don't have time to do that, why don't you make it a little bit of a resolution by next week to tell somebody about us? We are every Thursday, 7 p.m. We've got the next 4 guests lined up, and they are all smashing people that will make you laugh. And, come on, you love watching the show. Yeah.
They're so good. We're so good. Can you remember who we've got next week?
Yeah.
Should I just put you on the spot there? What have we got next week, Reese?
I think it's a man.
Is it a spider?
Right.
I'm having a look. I'll have a look on our spreadsheet.
No, if it's the 5th of November, it's Miss Jenny Hart.
Ah, it is the 5th of November. Oh, bonfire night. Yeah.
I mean, guys, Jenny's coming back to the sync, and it's going to be an absolute cracker of a show. I'm very excited. And I know that she is going to spill the whole tea on whatever she's thinking because she has no filter, and that's why we love her.
Last time she was on a Sunday, wasn't she? Whereas now it's like
we're really keen to get her on.
Yes.
Yeah. She also has 5 dildos to the door behind her the entire time, and none of us mentioned it.
None of us noticed it.
I just thought they were elaborate coat hooks.
Hopefully they'll be there.
Sign off.
Yeah,
I know. We'll mention if they're there. We will mention it.
Drives me insane. Yeah, let's just go. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week. You might not recognise us because we won't have a catfish on next week. We're going to become dressed as fireworks. Yay! No, we're not.
Baby, you're fireworks.
Am I a paper bag?
Press the red button.
Press the red button. Is that all right? Let's press the red button. Bye. Oh, we haven't done the red.
Press the red.
Oh, let's just go. Is it all right? Bye. Oh, thanks, Kyle.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
I pressed the button.